Shout out to that. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time on my live, welcome. We on multiple platforms again tonight. If you don't know who I am, I go by Zabo 103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms and I literally just try to provoke some thought. That's basically it. I believe that if you think, if you research, and you take some action, you can win. Um, New office studio. This thing is old. I've been here for a minute. I just don't ever really be in here that much because I couldn't really get on all the platforms like I like. But now that I can get on all the platforms, I can get back up in here and get some stuff going. We're not gonna get the microphone going yet. One test and check. One, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. Damn, that don't seem like the right thing to do just yet, anyway. But nevertheless, I digress. Um, I know I was here earlier and we were chopping it up. Um, and I got a little passionate earlier today. But I wanted to get back on the live and kind of dig into some stuff because I know people are still asking me, to talk through some of this stuff step by step on how you start and all this other stuff. And look, we've been going live now for 117 weeks straight. And in the midst of going live for all these weeks, I've been um, I've been sharing step by step on how to do this stuff. To the point to where some of the people that's been on my live for all these different weeks, they hearing these different things, and I think it's good to keep hearing some of the same stuff um, because something different to click. Um, so one of the things I've been doing over the last few weeks, I've been talking a lot about mindset. Even though I don't come out and say, "Hey, y'all, tonight I'm talking about mindset." Tonight I'm talking about mindset. I don't ever do that. But when I'm having these conversations, especially over the last few weeks, it's been strictly about mindset because the reality of it is that is the most important thing that you got to get in order for anything that you're trying to do to take off. Um, your mindset got to be right for you to be disciplined. And your mindset got to be right for you not to fall into some of the traps that are out there too. Look, if you think you're gonna get into this, hold on a second now. If you think you're gonna get into this place, this world of social media or this world of business, right? And think everybody's gonna like what you're doing, they're not. If you think no one's gonna talk bad about you, it just is what it is. What's up, family? People gonna come at you all type of ways. So your mind gotta be right to deal with these different things. You look at some of the most successful people in the world to you, and everybody named mama that says something bad about them. A lot of times you gotta stay out of the comments, right? The comments is what get people caught up. And again, you can't care about what nobody else saying. It was funny. I was looking at some of the analytics on the last post, one of the last posts that I post around this. It went something sort of like this woman told me that I smell good, and I told her my name of my cologne was "Leave Me the Alone" because my wife is crazy. Blah 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 blah. And to me, it was funny, right? So many people got into their feelings. Just say thank you. You so rude. You so mean. They don't have no context to what's going on into this post. I think it's funny. I still think it's funny. But they have no context what's going on in this post. Every time somebody give you a compliment, they not trying to holler at you. They not trying to do this. Your wife shouldn't be insecure. I mean, people will let me have it. I thought it was funny. The reason why I thought it was funny is all these people making this video go viral on multiple platforms. Notice what I just said. They're making the actual post go viral on multiple platforms. with no additional context. None of these individuals was there. None of these individuals there was to see what was actually happening. They don't know if the young lady had been Googling eyeing me from across the room. They don't know what the situation was. They just assumed that she might not have been flirting. She was just trying to give you a compliment on your cologne. What if I told these same people that was going in, I ain't even have no cologne on? I ain't have no cologne on. Would that make a difference? Would that still mean she's not flirting with me? Maybe it's the type of soap that I was using. The soap that I use don't even have a scent. Would that make a difference? The point that I'm trying to make is it don't matter what you do, people gonna come at you. That's why your mindset gotta be right. All of this stuff that you're doing every single day that you wake up, whether you want to admit it or not, is about business, people. All of this stuff is about business. It ain't about nothing different. Nothing at all. They didn't understand that I made that post because I got to make posts every single day to show y'all my pretty clothes and my pretty shoes. So I can explain this $1,000 Alexander McQueen hat that I had on, or this $7,000 outfit I had on. They don't understand that. No matter how it's relayed to you for you to see it. But we in a world where everything got to be palatable. And what I'm saying to you is you're going to have to get out of your feelings in 2025. 2024 was rough for a lot of people, but 2025, you're going to have to get out of your feelings. Because the reality of it is you're getting left behind. Not you're going to, you already get left behind right now as you sit in the comfort wherever you sitting there listening to me or watching me on a live. You're being left behind. You don't really have a lot of time to procrastinate. You got to figure out a couple of things. How do you get the things going that you need to get going so you can become the successful person that you want to become, what you believe success is? Either that means I want to be the most successful person at my company. How can you put yourself in a position to make sure that your life is in a better position than where it is today? What's up, family? We're in the building over here on TikTok. I mean, on YouTube. Shout out to you. No, I do not have a monetized TikTok. Although I did take the extra steps to getting that publishing check now. So when people put up my voice, they try to imitate me, make fake accounts, and they repost all my stuff using my sounds and all this different stuff. I make sure every time it's streamed for free, over 1,000 accounts that then fake me on TikTok alone. I appreciate y'all continue to promote me. I'm probably going to get my first publishing check next month. I hope y'all understood what I just said. Everything is just business, people. Nothing more than that. Anything outside of that don't even make logical sense. And you know what's really crazy about it? People be mad that you conducting business. They will be upset at you. How dare you go get money off of people? Who else you gonna get money off of? Who else you gonna get money from? Nobody else is gonna give it to you. You done went to the bank 100 million times, they didn't shut you down. You're asking people trying to borrow money, folks, they didn't shut you down. You gotta go and get it if you want it. It just is what it is. But it's a scary day when we in a world where people truly believe that something is going to be given to them if they just sway in the right direction, as long as they pick a side. Think about that for a second. So I'm here. I'm here tonight to try to finish up what we were talking about earlier today, because it's the only thing that makes sense to me. Your mindset gotta be right, people. You gotta stop being so invested in everybody else's situation and invest in your own situation. And for those of you that are at a point in your life that you want to make it all about you, hey, wish you the best. But you got to have a reason that you're doing things outside of you. That's what keeps you disciplined. That's what also keeps you grounded. Keep you to understanding that it's bigger than you. So you have a bigger vision. Because if it's just about you, you don't need much of nothing. If we're being just honest, not a lot of stuff that you just need yourself. In most cases, people will tell you they have everything that they need. So if you got everything you need, what's going to push you to the next level to go get this extra stuff when it gets super harder, when you don't need nothing else? But when you're doing it for somebody else and you know they always need some things, it's going to make you push harder. That's the true nature of the beast. So tonight, we're going to talk through, again, some of the step-by-steps, but we also going to add some other layers to it, because I think that, you know, for my group of people that's been with me for the last 117 weeks straight, I think at some point we got to move forward, right? Even though I know it's good to continue hearing some of the same stuff over and over again. So for my people that's been around for a while, that's already started their journeys, and they already taken their steps, and they on their plan, whatever that plan is to them, let me just throw something out there for you. They have these things on the internet that, like, tools that you can use on the internet, right? And Google is probably one of the most beneficial things out there to folks, even though Google don't always be 100% accurate. But it does give you the ability to kind of know where you need to start, right? It'll help you out. What's up, family? If you decide to go inside of a business, go inside of a field, you know you can just Google what the market is and where your demographics should be, even before you start getting an audience yourself. What does that mean? Let's say you want to sell cupcakes, right? What are some things that you probably should be looking up if you're in the cupcake business? Well, you want to see where people are buying cakes, right? You want to see where the people are the most unhealthy. Maybe that's a thing. Look at some of the obesity rates, where you live at, where you're going to be selling to. Which states buy the most cupcakes? Maybe that's a real thing. What's the quality if it came down to you having to ship because you're not in the state where people buy the most cupcakes? How fresh can you keep the cupcakes in order to get to your customer? You can do research on all these different things way before you've sold your first cupcake, so you can get a real understanding of where you need to be targeting and what you need to be doing. Think about that for a second. You might decide, man, the cupcake business ain't really, it's a good business, man, but people are trying to be more healthy. when it comes to things, especially because with everything happening with, the pandemic and all these different things, maybe I don't need to sell cupcakes. Maybe I need to just sell the ingredients in the box that people can do at home. Because when people cook at home, for the most part, they feel like they being more healthy than anybody else. But in reality, they probably not. What you eat at your house is probably worse for you than what you eat at the restaurant. But you have been conditioned to believe that if I cook it at home, it's better. Listen, boys and girls, you can't eat pasta every single day and think them carbs that you getting out of your pasta gonna help you lose weight. You just gonna keep gaining weight. I don't care if you go get it from Papados or you go get it from Kroger's. It's still pasta. Ain't nothing gonna change from it, y'all. Well, I bought the pasta that said it had this on it. Newsflash, boys and girls, real food only has one ingredient. Real food only has one ingredient. And it just is just that. Anytime there's a label on any packages of food, it's a warning sign. It's telling you, giving you the warning of what's on it and what's in it. Think. That's the only reason for a label. It's a warning sign. Why am I saying these things tonight? To my people that's been on here for the last 117 weeks straight, for those that haven't made the move, there's only a certain amount of research that you can do till you get to a point that you're paralyzed in research. I'm just telling you. That's the only problem in just doing so much research to where you just paralyzed in research. At some point, you got to make a move. You just have to. And for those that have started doing the different things they need to do, take it up a notch. Go on and step out there a little bit more. I'm not telling you push the gas and go on and quit your job. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is take the next step to start getting you some traction. What does that look like? It might look like you promote your business more through social media. It's free marketing. Don't ever get it twisted. It's free marketing. It may mean that maybe you go live and start selling your products. That may be the next step for you. I don't know. Maybe you pay for some ads to be posted on social media. Maybe you spend that couple $100 to get on one of those billboard signs right there outside of the highway where you know there's a lot of heavy traffic. Maybe you go and get in one of these articles that you see everybody getting into mysteriously and do a media blast that way to get your product out there or your services out there. But it's time to start taking the next necessary steps. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, to my new people that are on my live, and they, I got to go back to y'all because y'all keep asking me the same thing. What's the first step? What is the first step? Well, the first step is simple, but it's the hardest one. The first step is do something, anything. Come up with a plan. What do you mean come up with a plan? What is it that you want to do if you're thinking about going into business? What type of business do you want to start today? Once you figure out what type of business you want to start, commit to it. Commit to focusing on this business and giving it your all so you can see it become successful like you want it to become. Once you got your mind made up on the type of business you want to start, You done made the commitment. Come up with a name for the business. Come up with the name for the business. Not necessarily for what you're going to be doing business as, but just a business as a whole. It could be 123 Inc., 123 LLC, whatever it is, come up with a name of the business. Once you've came up with the name of the business, you done made the commitment, you didn't start doing something, go register your business with the Secretary of State. Fill out the form, y'all. It's not that complicated. It's going to ask you questions that you know the answer to. It's an open book test. And it ain't even a test because you know the answers. Not that complicated, y'all. Go register your business with the Secretary of State. Once you've done that, you're going to have a fee that you're going to have to pay. I know in Georgia it's less than $100. I think the most expensive one, I think, is in the state of California. I think it's $800. Think about that for a second. But it's the cost of doing business. It's okay. Once you have registered business Secretary of State, go on and stroll on over to the irs.gov and get a free EIN number. It's free. It's free. It takes you less than 3 minutes to get that free EIN number. And while you over there on the irs.gov website getting your free EIN number, start reading some of the stuff on there and make a commitment that every week I'm gonna go look at some stuff over there. Yes, it can get boring, but it's beneficial to you and your business. You gotta know what's going on, or you're gonna pay somebody to tell you what's going on. And if you can afford to pay somebody and trust they're gonna tell you exactly what's going on, have at it. But if you can't afford it, you need to stay on their site so you can know what's going on and stay up to date about what you can do and what you can't do in this business. At that point, what do you want to do? Go on over to the GoDaddy, GoDaddy.com. Go over there and get you a domain. It shouldn't cost you that much money. It might be $9 for the domain, so you can look professional on your emails, and you have the ability to build you out a website. Maybe $40 a year. It's not that complicated. You can register with Google. You're going to want to register with Google. You don't know how much business Google going to get you. Google will get you a lot of business. It just is what it is, y'all. You still ain't in business yet, y'all. You done did all these things. You're not in business yet. The next point you need to do is run on down to whatever bank you bank with or another bank you want to bank with and go and open you up a business checking account. Once you open that business checking account, congratulations, y'all. You in business. You officially got a business going, y'all. That's how you start. Well, you gotta renew your business every single year, or they gonna charge you X amount of dollars every single day, or you gonna get locked up. Newsflash: you want to renew your business every single. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go and pay that fee every single year to make sure your business is in good standing? Don't be silly, y'all. Please don't make this stuff complicated. It ain't. Well, if you miss the deadline, why are you going to miss the deadline? Well, I can forget. You ain't going to forget. You in business, right? You're trying to get this business be successful. How are you going to forget about your business? It just is what it is, y'all. Well, I got to file taxes on it. Yes. Look up who pays taxes. Businesses and people that earn an income. What does that mean? Yes, every year you're going to file taxes. Even if your business don't earn no money, you still going to file taxes. Well, what am I file if my business earn no money? You going to file what you earn. Well, I didn't earn nothing. That's what you're going to file. You didn't earn nothing. Taxes on zero is zero. You're just going to file it. It ain't that complicated. And as you're earning money, guess what you're going to do? You're going to conduct business. And remember, it's earned income. Income is just plain and simple, right? Anything after your business expenses is income. I know people are going to say, don't forget about the write-offs. It still is a part of your income. The IRS will let you write it off after the fact. You won't be liable for the taxes on what you can write off, but your income is your income, boys and girls. Has nothing to do with those business expenses. So if you go out in your business, earn $100,000, and you got business expenses of $50,000, your income is 50 grand. Now, if you write off another $20,000, the IRS will let you write off that $20,000 and only have you as income is 30. I'm just trying to make this plain and simple for those people that's going to try to complicate it. Now, I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not a CPA. None of those things. So once you get into business, you want to go and find you a good tax attorney or a good CPA. Those are all business expenses, by the way, boys and girls. But you might want to go find one or both of those parties so that you can get your paperwork, your taxes in order. Now, I know you've been going to the old girl up the street that do taxes, the old boy down the street that been doing your taxes for years, and they've been doing your personal taxes all your living, working career. That ain't who you need unless they understand the ins and outs of how that works. And in most cases, they don't. It sucks to say it that way, but they don't be having a clue. And the only thing they're going to do is jack you up. Go spend the money, boys and girls. It just is what it is. If you haven't figured it out just yet, these are simple things that you can do. The easy thing, Ron, to do is just interview some folks. Interview some people. That's the simplest thing to do. And some of it's going to be, you want to look, how long you been in the business? You don't have to tell me what clients you have, but talk to me about the revenue that some of your clients are doing. Talk to me about some of the things that most new businesses look over when it comes to credits, business expenses, write-offs. Talk to me about some of the other things I can do as a business owner to help kind of save me a little bit on some taxes. Think about that for a second. These are things that you want to ask, but you're simply just interviewing a bunch of different people or a bunch of different companies. It just depends on you. And let me be clear when I say this. When you hire them, they're not going to be on top of every single thing that comes out on all the different things you can do. Think about that for a second. They are. There are some things that you're going to think about on your own that you don't know if it can work or not work. And you're going to need to ask them some questions. Think about that for a second. We have a conversation with our CPA every single month, like clockwork. It never fails. Our tax guy, I'm gonna call him my tax attorney. We talk to him every quarter. It's really like 5 times a year, if I'm being honest, because right before the end of the year ends, we meet with him again and we look at where we at and what we're gonna owe from a tax perspective, what we are projected to owe, and we try to see what we didn't miss. And if I know that tax bill gonna be super crazy, I'm talking to him almost every other day. Hey, what else can we do? Hey, what else can we do? Hey, what else can we do? Now, if we gotta pay, we gotta pay. We ain't got no choice. And sometimes, in some cases, if that means going on a payment program, we'll go on a payment plan. I ain't too proud to beg. But the reality of it is, I'm always asking, what else can we do? Because it got to make sense. Think about that. What's a crazy tax bill amount? Last year, I think we were staring down the barrel of, I want to say it was almost 3.8 million last year. That was unreal to me. I was like, I ain't trying to do that. What else can we do? And we found other stuff we can do. We found a bunch of stuff that we can do. To the point, by the end of last year, we got that thing down to a little bit over 6 figures. Boy, I was so happy. Why am I saying this stuff? I'm saying these things because these are the things that people fear. You can't go out there and make all that money. If you go out and make a whole bunch of money, Uncle Sam, them taxes gonna get you. Not if you follow the law. Think about that for a second. A lot of people don't understand that. What's the other thing? We talk about land a good amount on this platform. Man, land costs too much money. No, it don't. The bad habit that you got where you spending money on it every single day, every single week, every single month. The bad habits that you got, if you eliminated your bad habit, you can actually go buy land. 100%. If you got a bad habit to where you spending $100, $200, let's say $200 every single week on your bad habit. That bad habit don't have to be illegal. That bad habit can be something as simple as food. You know you done put yourself in a crazy position when it comes to your health because you buying all this food and you know what I'm talking about. That's $800 a month, boys and girls. That's $9,600 a year. You 100% without a doubt can go buy land with that money that you're using for your bad habit right now today. But you're not saying your bad habit is expensive. It's the same price. If I'm being honest, think. And fellas, look. Let me say this. Let me be clear. If for my fellas that don't have kids right now, right? And the reason why you haven't had kids yet, because you want to make sure that you get with someone that you're going to be with so you can raise your kids together so you don't have to worry about child support and all this other stuff. The average child support in America is $337 a month. I want to be clear when I say this. So let's just say $400 a month. $400 a month is $4,800 a year. You can go buy a piece of land with that. I agree. But for the fellas that don't have no kids right now, and they ain't trying to have no kids right now because they haven't found the right person, take the money that you are so afraid of that woman gonna take from you in child support, put it to the side every single month like you pay child support, and every year go buy you a piece of land. You claim you got the $400 in child support, but you ain't gonna have no kid just because you don't want nobody to take you for your child support. Take that money, put it to the side every single month like it's child support, and go buy you some land. I promise you your future self will thank you. You said they went out there and bought their Hellcat. I know that's right. Imagine you had a car payment before the Hellcat came out. That car was running good. The Hellcat came out. You ain't have no other responsibility. You said to yourself, man, I'm going to get that Hellcat. It don't matter what the situation is. You still owe money on this car that you're paying for, but you got to go get that new Hellcat. Guess what you went and did? You went and traded your car in, went and got that Hellcat, and now you upside down on this Hellcat. Now you ride around this Hellcat because that's what you wanted, and you can flex and floss on folks with a $1,000 payment because you were upside down on your other car. Now you roll around this Hellcat, $1,000 a month for the Hellcat, and then another $400 a month for the car insurance. You spending $1,400 a month on a Hellcat when you were just paying $350 a month and $125. You were spending $475, $500 a month for your old car. Now you spending almost $1,500 a month. You could have turned around and said, you know what? I ain't buying no Hellcat. That extra $1,000 that I got to play with right now, I'm going to put that $1,000 on a whole life insurance policy. A whole life insurance policy. $1,000 every single month. That's 12 grand a year, boys and girls. And that ain't just 12 grand a year because you get compound interest on that money daily, tax-free, that you can borrow against and pay yourself back with interest. Now that's some hell right there, cat. You walking around saying, boy, that cat hell. I don't care nothing about that Hellcat. That cat right there, hell. It's going to take you, because that $1,000 a month ain't just going to be for 5 years because your credit ain't that good. You paying for it for 7 years. In 7 years, you done turned that $12,000 times 7. What is that? $84,000 plus compound interest, daily, tax-free. You done turned that $84,000 that you didn't put away inside this Hellcat or more, because the interest rate gonna kick your butt. You done turned that 84 grand into easy about 120 grand. Tax-free money that you can tap into. So you buy land every single month with that money you thought you were gonna spend in child support. Right? Yeah, as long as you got a cash value on it, 100%. Think about what I just said. You buy land every single year, call it 1 acre. You got 12 grand going to your whole life insurance policy. In 7 years, you got about 110, call it 110 grand that you can tap into if you need to. 120, I don't know, whatever the number is, $100,000. Every year you buy the acre. It's been 7 years. Now you got, in 7 years, when you finally paying off your Hellcat, you could have been in a position where you got 7 acres of land, $110,000 to play with. Think about what I just said. So when your homeboy finally done paid off his Hellcat, and now he like, man, I gotta put some money to the side and buy me a house, man. My next thing, man, I gotta get me a house, man. I'm getting older. This Hellcat, I was only happy about it for 2 weeks. After I rode it around for 2 weeks, I realized I don't know what it looked like because I'm inside of it driving. The only people that know what it looked like now are the people outside of the car seeing me drive it. I used to be able to hear it rumbling, but it ain't got no more juice. It ain't even growling no more. That Hellcat just ain't growling at all going down the highway. It ain't doing no growling. It ain't got no juice. Meanwhile, you just getting ready to gear up. You also been stacking your money, doing some other investment because you're a smart cat. Nothing stops you in year 7 when he paid off his Hellcat, taking an acre of land and starting a project to build you a single family home on that property. That home ain't got to be for nobody else. It can be for you. Think about that. So when your homeboy, after he done paid off this Hellcat, he done got this debt to income ratio down to go and get a mortgage, you're in a position where you building you a house, cash money. But you smart, you ain't gonna move into it. Guess what you gonna do? Rent it out, refinance the property, get the equity out of the property, let the tenant pay the mortgage off, and then keep doing this a total of 7 times. Think. If I spend 150, it's worth 300 grand. If I get a mortgage on this property, I'm getting 80% because I'm an investor. I'm getting 240 back. I put 150 in. That's $90,000 back tax free that my tenant paying back. If I do that a total of 7 times, and I'm getting 90 grand every single time tax free, that's $630,000 that I done made by not buying a Hellcat. By not buying a Hellcat. Now they made that 630 grand. The tenant's paying the mortgages, and they give me a little extra money every single month. Now I'm cash flowing a few $100s. Call it $500. I'm throwing a low number out. $500 extra every month on each property. That's an extra $3,500 a month. On top of what I'm already doing, because I ain't gonna stop what I'm doing just yet. What you think I'm gonna do when I get that $630,000 in my hand? I'm gonna go buy me some more land, and I'm gonna continue doing the same thing. So by the time year 10 come, and my homeboy done paid off his Hellcat, and he finally in his home 3 years later, I done fully retired, and I ain't got to work for nobody else for the rest of my life. Think. So now if I want to go buy a Hellcat, I can go buy a Hellcat. Why? My tenant's paying the actual payments on it. My tenant's paying the car payment. And I'm not upside down, so my Hellcat costs me $700 a month. I don't care. My tenant's paying for the Hellcat. But by then, I done grew up. I don't care nothing about no Hellcat. When I know I can go get me a vehicle that weigh over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, and the IRS will let me write it all off tax-free, I'm writing this stuff off. In 3 more years, I done turned that $630,000 to $2 million, just like that. Can I afford to go out there and buy me a $100,000 vehicle and write it off? I 100% can. Think. So when you're asking what are the first steps, the first step is truly stop making dumb decisions. How do you stop making dumb decisions? By start thinking. By start thinking. Think, y'all. Somebody said, have you done this yet? What's up, family? Let me put it to you this way. Today is December the 10th, 2024. How many hours have you worked this year? How many hours have you worked this year? Today is December the 10th, 2024. How many hours have you worked this year? He said, if you've done this, how come you're not rich and retired? They must be new to my life. I ain't gonna get distracted, y'all. We gonna stay on the road. Welcome to the live, family. I would suggest you probably just sit tight. Oh, yeah. A lot of people get on here. I understand people just be trolling, and that's cool. I'm not mad at them, and the reason why I'm not mad at them because in the morning they got to go to work, so I don't have a reason to be mad. I have no reason to be upset because I know they don't know no better. When I get up in the morning, I'm gonna do the same thing I did this morning, and the same thing I did the morning before that, and the same thing I did the morning before that, and the morning before that. It's crazy to have a 7-day weekend every single week. It's December the 10th, 2024, and I've worked 0 hours all year. And the sad part about this is I ain't on here asking y'all for no money. And I've been coming live for the last 117 weeks straight. I mean, they probably do have refused to. That's cool. I don't have no problem with it. Refuse it. That's the beauty about it. The information ain't for everybody. It ain't. The sad part about it is that people will say all the time that people gatekeep all the time. And when they get the information, they don't even know what to do with it. They can't even recognize that the information that they're getting, forget that it's something different that they're hearing. They can't compute. My financial advisor didn't tell me that, so I don't know what you're talking about. My wealth manager didn't tell me that, so I don't know what's going on. Ask your wealth manager, are they financially free? I am. Think. Ask your wealth manager, have they built wealth for themselves? I have. But people don't get it. And it's no disrespect to nobody. I know sometimes people just have questions, and it's okay for people to ask questions. But what I want people to understand is all you got to do when you hear somebody speaking about things, go research the information. You don't need me to tell you that it's real. Me proving to you that it's real ain't really going to help you. I could be trying to finesse you. Go research what I'm talking about and see if it's even humanly possible. That's what I would ask. Because that's the gift. And that's the part that I want people to understand. So to answer your question, yes, I've done these things before. I'm not saying these things just to be saying them. And typically in my earlier lives, you'll see I was going live showing y'all these things in real time. Over 117 weeks. Think about what I'm saying. When we built out that 52 home subdivision down in South Georgia, we got the home number 29, and I got an offer I couldn't refuse for the remaining pieces of land that I had in there. Every week, almost every single day, I was going live. Hey, y'all, I'm in property number 29. We ain't here working. They ain't doing what they're doing, y'all. Building from the ground up. No bank loans. Now, that ain't the smartest thing to do without no bank loan. I'm just telling you. But if I'm being honest, ain't no bank loans. What does that mean? I'm showing y'all this stuff in real time because I know people on social media just be talking. Like when I went live on those 3 acres of this. Imagine I can't even say the word on social media without getting kicked off. I thought if I don't say the word and I just show y'all this in real time, that I'll be fine. So I went live and showed y'all this in real time and got kicked off the platform. Make that make sense. But people don't hear that. I go to a closing tomorrow to add 28 more acres of land onto the 267.5 acres of land that we own. Ain't no loans. You ain't doing that for real. I went live last year on TikTok, me and my beautiful wife, and we bought 41.5 acres of land cash live on TikTok. Why did I do that? Because I know people just be talking. Earlier this year, around Valentine's Day, we went up into the Range Rover dealership and bought a 2024 long body Range Rover cash live. Why did I do that? To show you ain't no loans. The stuff that I'm talking about, I'm showing you in real time. It's not because I have to prove it. It's because I know people on social media just be talking. So when I come out with these little things that people could do, I'm only coming out with these things based off of things that I've experienced. People don't hear that. People don't understand that. And even when you do that, people will turn around and say the same thing. Oh, that wasn't real. You ain't doing that. You just over there talking. But like, all right, cool. So what do? I get up in the morning, I go live at 9 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I just go live. They show you ain't on no job. I go live in the middle of the day. I go live when you're supposed to be having that headset on saying, thank you for calling such and such, such and such. And I'll stay live for 2 or 3 hours straight to let you know that I ain't working for nobody. I have a do-rag on, head all messed up, little do-rag on. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. Think about what I'm saying. Nobody don't hear that stuff, though. I'll be whooped all out. Why? Because I can. Me and my wife got back from Indonesia. We've been back about 2 weeks now. We stayed out there for about 2 weeks. Wasn't nobody in no rush. We was in the future, having fun. In the future, conducting business. Why? Because I'm trying to get people to understand there is another way. Think about what I'm saying. Think. Yeah. They said that TikTok's supposed to be going down. That's what they say. They told me to download something called Lemon 8. So I did go over to, what is it called? Lemon 8 and start uploading some stuff. I did do that. But realistically, if it does go down, YouTube's still up. Still gonna be live on YouTube. Instagram's still up. I'm still gonna be live on Instagram and Facebook. All these other platforms still up. So what's gonna happen if TikTok go down? People just gonna migrate over to these other platforms. You can find me on these other platforms. Think. It is, but you just want to be everywhere. You want to be everywhere. Yeah, you can't go live on Lemon 8 yet. But like right now, I'm live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Real Front. I'm about to add, what is it? I think it was called, my son told me Kick or something like that. And he said, Pops, you need to start a discourse. I said, all right, I'm going to start one of them too. They got live on X too. I ain't know that. I heard they had live on X, but I tried it a couple of times, but it's weird to me how it works. The point that I'm making is y'all, if an ignorant dude like me can figure this stuff out, barely got a high school education, what's your excuse? You didn't just go to school through 12th grade. You got a high learning education. You got your associate's degree, your bachelor's degree, you're a PhD, you got all these elements, got all these letters behind your name. You well educated. Ain't nothing stopping you but your education. The same thing I tell people all the time. Don't let your education stop your education, because that's what hurt folks. So what am I saying? Get out here and start making this stuff happen. Start putting this stuff into practice. I do a lot of different things. Ultimately, I'm just a landowner. Just a landowner. But I got all type of different businesses, if that makes sense. I do a lot of stuff. A ton of stuff. You know, I own a toilet paper company called Triumph Tissue. 3-ply toilet paper, 200 sheets is the closest thing you can get to wiping yourself with silk, but I ain't gonna sell it to y'all. I sell it to the government. They pay better. If I'm being honest. Yeah, course still coming, family. 100% is still coming. As you heard, I got land with this on it. Can't say the word because I don't want no smoke. I got land with this on it. On some of my land, we got cell phone towers, you know, so y'all can get service and stay connected. I hope y'all pick that up. We planted 100 acres of pecan trees last year. Huh? Uh-oh. But people don't hear this stuff. Think. Just think. Earlier this year, we had purchased 1,157 acres of hunting land right outside of Shelby, Mississippi. It was a short-term deal, and it made me see some things that I didn't even really, I knew about it, but I really didn't quite grasp how much money people pay to go hunting. So now I'm on the search for some more hunting land. I didn't know that was that big of a business like that. I was slipping. But it opened my eyes to something. Think about that for a second. That's what's wild about this stuff. There's really no limits to the things that you can do other than the limits that you create for yourself, as long as it's legal. As long as it's legal, there's nothing stopping you in this big old business called the United States of America. Zabian Gibson on Facebook. If you go to my Instagram for whatever reason, if you go to my Instagram, under my highlights, it got all of my social media platforms on there. You can click on it and hit the link. It'll take you to that platform that I got on there. That might help you. Well, Cash, to be honest with you, I knew it was big money, but I didn't understand what type of money you really can get in it. I really didn't. And I didn't, when I bought that land in Mississippi, it was a short-term deal anyway for somebody else that didn't have the capital right then and there on the spot. And they were like, if you go ahead and get it, they'll manage it. And then in 6 months, they'll purchase it back. They wound up purchasing it back from me in 3 months. It was absolutely a blessing. It was a blessing because I didn't know enough about it to really be running that type of business, right? If that makes sense. I made a good money on that little deal that I did. It was super amazing, the little short-term flip. but it gave me the opportunity to kind of see some other things inside of it. That experience was priceless for me. And it's still so much that I don't know about it. It's so much that I don't know about it that it's kind of scary, but I understand that it's worth the risk because there's so much money in it. Like, I could have been doing so much stuff. So much stuff. I'm talking about to the point, imagine for a second, I go buy 1,000 acres of land. 1,000 acres of land. Let's say out of that 1,000 acres, I got about, I'm gonna call it 400 acres of it is timber. And there's all other type of trees out there and all this other stuff, right? But 400 acres of it is timber. Watch this. I could realistically set up the hunting land with the perimeter of 600 acres of hunting land and get paid off of that. Them 400 acres of timber, I can reach out to some timber companies and get $4,000 an acre for the timber trees for them to come and cut it. Now, when they come and cut it, it's going to take 10, 15 years, 15, 20 years for it to grow back. But if you did the math that quick on 400 acres, $4,000 an acre at 400 acres, and the only thing they doing is coming and cutting the trees and hauling them off, and I still own the land, and I'm planting more timber out there for them to come and get it in another 20 years. Y'all can do the math on that number real quick. What's $4,000 times 400 acres? 400 times $4,000. If you haven't done the math, boys and girls, somebody say it with me. Anybody? What's that, 1.6? Think. And I ain't do nothing but bought the land. So now I done got the money back that I paid for the land. The land that we bought out there in Mississippi was $875,000. Not only did I get my money back, I would have doubled my money off of just letting them come and cut the land, cut the trees off, and then roping off the 600 acres and let them hunt where I've been making money hand over fist. Think, because you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. But people don't hear that. I was looking at some swamp land down in good old Louisiana. Why was I looking at swamp land? Do you know how much money people make off of swamp land? People get paid off of swamp land. I'm going to hire me 10 employees, buy me 10 airboats, and they're going to be doing tours, hour tours, 10 hours a day. They're going to charge people $46 to go on a tour. 10 people going to sit on that airboat. That's $460 an hour times 10. That's $4,600 an hour times 10 hours. That's $46,000 a day, boys and girls. That's $46,000 a day, boys and girls, on swamp land. But nobody don't hear this stuff because they can't wrap their brain around this stuff. And why can't they wrap their brain around this? Because they're not thinking. Because they're not thinking. All this stuff goes back to think. Research. Take some action. You make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. That's a great question. What do I mean by that? So most people think that when you get a piece of land, if you buy it low and you sell it how you made money, you're going to get taxed on that money. Well, the reason for that saying came from somebody that they had wealth in their family for over 400 years. And I can remember him telling me that you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. And I didn't understand it either. But when he broke it down to me, it made all the sense in the world. So let me break it down. Land is the only thing on this planet that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. What does that mean? You're guaranteed to make a return on your investment on land. So if I buy some land today, it's only going up in value. I just made money. I ain't taxed on it. I ain't nothing because I haven't earned the income. Plus, if I decide to make money on this land, how many ways can you make money off of land? The number's infinity. It's an infinity number of ways to make money off of land. Let me give you some examples. When most people think that you're making money off of land, what do they say? You're going to build some houses. You're going to build some apartment complexes. What about a gas station? You're going to have some little, some shopping centers on you. You're going to build this, you're going to build that. You know how much money you make off a solar panel farm? Having a solar panel farm on your land. Do you understand how much money you can make off of that? Do you understand how much money people pay to hunt quail? That bacon, egg, and cheese omelet that you ate earlier today came from a landowner. I don't eat no meat. Okay, I get it. You a vegan. The soap you washed with came from a landowner because it came from the fat of a cow. The sugar that you're using in your house right now came from the bone of the cow. Where did that cow come from? A landowner. The clothes on your back came from a landowner. Where do you think this stuff is grown at? On the land. I just told you we planted 100 acres of pecan trees last year. We're not selling pecan pies. They want the shell and the oil. Go look up what they do with the shell and the oil. It might shock you. Man, I don't mess with no type of meats. I ain't doing that. That antifreezer in your car comes from the cow. Who got the cow housed? The landowner. I ain't got my car vegan too. I ain't got no car like that. I got a Cybertruck. We don't use antifreezer, bro. The tires on your Cybertruck ain't vegan. It comes from the fat of a cow. All this stuff comes back to the land. Everything goes back to the land, including you. Do you know how much these private jet owners pay landowners to actually house their private planes in these landowners' hangars? I can keep going. I ain't even stepped. That ain't even a percent of what you can do when it comes to making money off of land. Think. Imagine everything you do is on land. You ain't in the ocean. Everything you do is on the land. Period. If I would have been a little bit more intuitive in my younger years, I could have bought some land right outside of Hartsville Airport, right there on the corner. But I didn't know. I ain't know nothing about no land. I was more ignorant than I am right now. Had I bought that land, right there before they finished building out the airport, Hartsville, right before they did that, and they would have came to me, and I would have been smart, had the knowledge I have today, and they would have said, we're going to give you $2 million for these 2 acres of land that you have down here. We're going to give you $2 million. And most people would have did what the people did down there. They would have sold it. But remember what I said. You make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. If I would have been in a position to buy that land at that time and just hold it, and they would have came to me, asked me, and I would have had that information, I would have said, you know what? I don't want to block what you're doing. But how about we do a lifetime lease on this land? Instead of you giving me $2 million, I'll do a lifetime lease for $100,000 a month for these 2 acres. And they would have did it. And for the life of that airport being on that land, we will be getting $100,000 a month. And I ain't did nothing. But just on the land. People don't hear this stuff, y'all. People don't understand. This stuff is really wild. But you know what people do understand? Man, I'm going out there and buy Bitcoin. So you got $100,000 to buy a whole coin? Nope, I'm going to buy a fraction of it, and it's going to go to the moon. Nope, you just bought a product. And you about to be stuck until they snatch the rug up out of it. And you're like, man, I can't wait till it go back up. But it's going to go up to $1 million. Yep, it is. And when you get up to $1 million, you finally take your money out and you done made your $200,000-$300,000 off of it. Guess what you're going to do with that money? Go pay a landowner to move into your home. Go pay a landowner for you to eat your food. Go pay a landowner for you to get clean water. Go pay a landowner to put clothes on your back, a roof over your head. I can keep going, y'all. Land ownership, people. That's the key. As an employee of the United States of America, the business people, don't get it twisted. This is a business where we live. Because if it wasn't a business, like I said earlier today, the United States of America would have kings and queens. They would have a king or a queen or both. But since the United States of America is a business, what do they have, boys and girls? Say it with me. They have a president and a vice president, just like every other company that you've ever worked for in your life. But nobody don't hear that. That seems like too much like right. That seems too much like I'm trying to understand. At some point, they will, if you keep trying to increase it every time they got to renew it, they will try to find a way to X you out the plan. I mean, sure. But property taxes could be a real thing for you. That could be really expensive. It could be all sorts of things. But it just depends. A lot of pros and cons. The point that I'm trying to make, you got to wrap your brain around you are just an employee. You're just an employee. I don't care that you own your own business. If you are a citizen or an employee of the United States of America, the business, because that's what it is, you're just an employee. It ain't much more to it. And as you know, at a company, you got some employees like yourself that bust your butt and work hard and they do everything right and they'll never get the recognition. And then you got employees like me that'll come in, they'll act like they're working for a while, they'll pretend like they're working, and then they'll hire for the rest of the shift. And you be mad at me because I'm always on PTO, I'm always on vacation, I'm always taking a leave of absence. Who's HR? The House, the Senate. Think. It's a business, y'all. It's a business. But people don't hear that. This is the reason why you got to learn how to operate in private and in public. Now, look, I've been on here for a while. I ain't going to stay on too much longer. Let's just walk through what we walk through every single almost every live when I get on at night, we talk about that 10-year plan. It just makes sense. So let's come up with a scenario because I know this. I have a dream speech that the new people didn't heard. They're like, this sound good, but I do got to get up and go to work in the morning. I don't understand how I'm gonna do all this stuff you talking about. You talking way over my head, family. How long? It just depends, right? If you have capital out the gate, I mean, it could be instant, right? If you don't have capital out the gate, again, land is going to go up in value, guaranteed. But making it a product itself, it really depends on how long it takes you to get whatever capital you need to put whatever product you're trying to put out there. It just really depends. There's a lot of things to it. But let's go through a scenario on how to do this stuff, right? If I'm working a 9 to 5. That's what everybody really want to know. At least the new people. The people that's been here for a while, y'all already know this stuff. We done talked about it a million times. But if you're trying to figure this stuff out on how I can get started in this stuff, and I'm just working 9 to 5, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. If you're trying to figure this out, put a 1 in the chat. Because there might be people that ain't trying to figure out. They might just understand what I'm saying right now. If you're trying to figure this out and you're working a 9 to 5, put a 1 in the chat. If not, we'll move forward with something else. All right, we got enough people to say. All right, so let's do it. So let's come up with a salary, and I can't tell you what to do because that's not what I do. I only can tell you what I would do, right? So let's come up with some scenarios, right? And all right, Missy, shout out to you for tapping in over there on YouTube. I appreciate you, family. $10,000 a year, that's my income. Well, that's going to be easy, but all right. Anybody opposed to doing 10,000? Should we look at a different number? How much money are we making a year in this scenario? 10 grand is what's on the table right now. Everybody good with 10 grand? Or should I do it with a different number? Anybody? 50 grand? All right. Got 50 grand on the table. 125, 300,000 a year. Somebody said 10 grand. Somebody said higher, 30 grand, 21 grand. All right. Let me say this, because I think some of the people that may be newer on here. All right. The person that's making $300,000 a year versus the person that's making $10,000 a year, that person that's making $10,000 a year, in most cases, they're in a better situation than the person that's making 300 grand. And I know that sounds backwards because most people are like, Cap, if I make 300 grand a year, I'm in a much better place than a person that's making 10 grand a year. In theory, I guess, yes, right? But the problem is that person that's making 10 grand a year ain't got no bills. That person that's making 300 grand a year, not really taxes. That ain't really the main issue. The person that's making 300 grand a year, they overextended themselves in most cases, y'all. In most cases, they've overextended themselves. Especially when you're talking about people trying to figure it out. Because if you make it 300 grand a year and you haven't overextended yourself, there really shouldn't be much to figure out. Do you understand what I'm saying? The more money you make, the more bills you create. Because you believe that you can afford all these things that you really can't afford. And that's what's scary. So if y'all want me to do this off a number 10K, let's throw the scenario out there. I'll do it off of 10K, but I'm just gonna tell you flat out that's kind of easy. So bills, 3 kids, and no income. Okay. So I guess the 50K makes sense. The median income in America is about $57,000. I think it's going to go up a little bit to 65. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, we bring home 50K a year. Because that's like in the, I guess, technically the middle of the road. So I'm going to say I'm bringing home 50K a year. Hopefully that makes sense. What else do we want to add to that scenario? I'm bringing home 50K a year. You said 3 kids? Okay. Are those 3 kids living with you? Or are they living with another parent? 3 kids. Are those 3 kids living with you? Or are they living with a different parent? I'm with you, Drill. Cool. We can do 10K. I don't care. It's up to y'all. 8,000, 2 kids. All right, y'all. One in college. We got to be realistic with these scenarios, right? So, $50,000 a year, 3 kids. What else? Anything else? Anything you want to add? 3 kids, they live with me. All right. 50K a year. A car payment. Okay. Car payment is cool. What else? Anything else y'all want to add on here, to try to make this more complicated? I'm just going to tell you what I would do. Bring it home 50K a year is what we're talking about. Student loans. Student loans is cool. We got rent. Okay. With you on that. What else? Well, the health insurance is going to be inside. I will hope it's coming out of your money before you get it. So if we bring it home 50K a year, the health insurance already came out. Credit card debt. I'm with you on that. You're saying you got 3 kids and no income? Okay. Food, that's a given. Rent, that's a given. 6 grown. Child support, I'm with you on that. Anything else we can think of? For the person that keeps saying they got 3 kids and no income at all, like, my question is, how you paying your phone bill today? How you paying your rent, your mortgage, wherever you living at with your 3 kids? Because you just said they live with you. That means you got a place to live. If you don't have no income at all, how is the mortgage getting paid? How is the rent getting paid today? We talking about real life. Let's just throw it out there. Not you, the person that said they got 3 kids and they ain't got no income. How is this stuff being paid? And then we're going to go into our scenario. I don't want to make it personally about one person again. I'm going to tell you what I would do. Well, you can't say a hope and a dream. Somebody paying it. All right. I can't really dive into your personal situation because I don't think that's gonna make sense. But I'm gonna say this with love, family. I'm assuming, and this is an assumption, I'm assuming that the 3 kids that live with you, there's also you and somebody else there that lives there. Your significant other, I gotta imagine, because you said you're living in your mother-in-law house, right? If you're living in your mother-in-law house, I'm assuming the mother-in-law didn't let you live there and kick their kid out. I'm assuming both of y'all live there together. That's what I'm assuming. I could be wrong. If you're doing DoorDash from time to time, your name is Blake. All right, Blake. I got to be real with you, family. If you don't have no income and you're living in your mom's house and you got 3 kids that depend on you, you shouldn't be doing DoorDash time to time. You should be doing DoorDash all day, every day. It shouldn't be a reason why you're not doing DoorDash, because you just said you ain't got no income, which means you ain't working nowhere. You should be doing DoorDash all day long, every day. I don't understand. And if you're living in your mother-in-law house and your significant other is living there with you, meaning that your mom really ain't gonna kick y'all out. Your mom might kick you out. Your mother-in-law might kick you out, but they ain't gonna kick their kid out and their grandkids, if I'm being honest. You should be doing DoorDash all day, every day. If I'm being honest, you can't do that with no gas. If you're doing DoorDash, you're getting the gas money, right? I can't really go into your situation. I don't want to do that because these are the moments where you got to make a little sense out of this stuff, right? And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So let's get back to what we're talking about. 50 grand a year. That's what I'm bringing home. Yeah. 50 grand a year. That's what I'm bringing home. I got kids. We keeping the kids with us, even though that scenario, we can't be too unrealistic about it, right? So let's say I got 2 kids. I'm just gonna throw it out there, right? Got 2 kids, 50K a year. I got a student loan. I got rent, got car payments, got credit card debts. My kids, I said they live with me, so I gotta keep that in perspective, but I got a job and I'm doing a little something. What would I do in that situation? I would do the same thing I would do in any situation. The best way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. It just is what it is. That's the best way to get out of a hole. Put the shovel down and stop digging. Use the shovel to stand on the shovel to get up out of that joint. Whatever it takes. So the first thing I got to do, if the kids are living with me, I'm the father. That means there's a mother out there somewhere that ain't doing their part with the kids. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go down there to the city. I'm going down there to the courthouse, y'all. I'm going to ask them good, clean people down there for some child support. I'm going to ask them good, clean people for some child support on these kids' mother that ain't doing nothing for them. If she not working, I don't care if it's $25 a month. If it's a situation where, she is working and she just left and did her own thing, she going on child support, y'all. She'll put me on child support. I need to get that $600 a month for them 2 kids. So I can add that good old clean extra $7,200 a year onto that $50,000 a year, boys and girls. It's going to happen. While I'm down there asking for child support, I'm also going to ask for Section 8. They're going to put me on this long waiting list. By the time I get Section 8, it ain't even going to exist. It just ain't, if I'm being honest. I'm also going to ask for food stamps. They may give me food stamps instantly because I got 2 kids in the house. They're going to put my baby mama on child support too. And I'm going to be enforcing it. We made these kids together. You got to do what you got to do. So on my food stamp, they gonna give me a good little way. I got 2 kids. We'll call it $350 a month. I can check food off the equation. We eat shrimps and steak, baby. Let me go on and get these food stamps while they're giving it to me. I will politely swipe that EBT card tax-free every time I'm in the grocery store. I'm also going to ask them for that Obama phone. Not just for me, but for my kids too. I'm going to ask for all that. I need all of it. My kids need phones too. Well, why do your kids need phones? Because I work in the daytime and then I get off, to get them and get them situated from school. And they need phones so I can get in contact, at least one so I can, get in contact with them. They're going to tell me we can't give y'all your kids' phone. We'll give you one phone. Now, I already got a cell phone. That one phone they give me, I'm giving it to my oldest kid and just let them have it on them so that I can, stay in contact with them because I can't afford to get no phone. Don't use this phone only for an emergency and call the one number that's programmed in here, which is me. You can dial 911 if you need to, but call me. That's it. That's all. So now I'm getting this $350 a month in food stamps. I got a free cell phone, so I ain't got to buy my kid no phone. They good for now. Until Papa get in the right situation. What's the next thing I'm going to do? Well, I ain't really solved a lot of stuff just yet. I solved the food thing, which was cool, right? But I still got these credit card debts. Y'all, I'm letting that stuff charge off. I ain't got no choice. I'm struggling. Can't afford this stuff. I got a car payment. I'm struggling. I can't afford this stuff. I got rent. I'm spending $1,800 a month for a 2-bedroom. My 2 boys share a room. It just is what it is, y'all. I'm struggling. I ain't too proud to beg. They share a room and I'm spending $1,800 a month. Can't afford this stuff. 12,800 times 12, that's another 9,600. What's that? $21,000 a year? Man, I'm letting everything go. I can't afford it. So here's what I'm gonna do, boys and girls. It's just me. I'm gonna call my family, call my brother, call my sister, and I'm gonna say to them, your brother is struggling. I need some help. My big brother and my little sister's gonna say both the same thing. Man, you got to get together, man. My nephews can't be going through them. I'm like, yeah, I get it, man, but I ain't got no help with it with the kids, and it's just been rough. And I'm trying to get out of this hole. My brother gonna ask me because he's loving and caring, just like my family is, right? I'm blessed in that way, I guess. My brother gonna say, "What can I do to help?" I'm like, man, it'll be good if I had somewhere to live. If we had somewhere to live, it would be perfect. It would help us out tremendously. My brother was like, yeah, man, y'all can come live here. Y'all can stay out there in the guest house. If you don't have no family, then you're going to have to tough it out. I'm telling you what I would do. But if you don't have no family, you're going to have to tough it out. Let's use it if you ain't got no family. Say my brother say, no, you can't live with me. What I'm going to do? The same thing I was going to do. All those credit cards I'm letting charge off. That car payment that I got, I can't afford to be paid. I thought I was going to be able to afford to pay $700 a month. I can't afford that. Can't afford it. This $1,800 a month, I'm going to have to suck it up because we got to have a place to live. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to let them credit cards charge off. I ain't making no more payments to them. I'm going to put that little money to the side. That car payment, I'm going to go behind. I'm going to try to defer for a couple months. Put these payments on the back end, 2 months. They allow me to do that. Car payment, $700 a month. That's $1,400 back in the pocket. Watch this. Y'all asking a lot of questions. You ain't got to ask the question. I'm telling you what I'll do. Watch this, though. So if they let me defer the car payments for 2 months, on the third month, I done kept the money again. I ain't paying them. On that fourth month, I done kept the money again. Now they tell me they coming to repossess my vehicle. It ain't my vehicle. I don't own it. They come to repossess it. But that's $700 every single month that I'm supposed to be paying for that car payment over the last 4 months. I've been putting to the side. That's $2,800 to the side. Guess what I'm going to do on that fourth month? 2 payments behind now. 4 months I've been stacking the car payment. The credit card payments, I've been stacking that money. I got about like $4,500. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to politely go and find me a piece of a car for like $5,000. I'm going to politely go find me a piece of a car for like $5,000. And I'm going to spend that $5,000 cash on that vehicle. It's the dumbest thing I can do, but this next move going to make it all better. Now, they still going to be ready to come and get this car. Guess what I'm going to do when they get ready to come get this car? I'm going to file bankruptcy. Chapter 7. Those credit cards that's charged off, it's coming off my credit. That Chapter 7 going on. That repossession they about to put on the car, now they can't come and get the car right now for at least another 120 days. So I still got my car for 120 days. But it's going into bankruptcy. The only thing I got for is in a payment go at this point is my rent, my utility bills. I'm getting grocery every single month from Section 8. I mean, from food stamps. I ain't touched my $50,000 yet. Now, I've been paying my little rent, utilities, put gas in the car, car insurance, basic things. I'm filing Chapter 7, bankruptcy. Now, we all know that bankruptcy is going to be on my credit for the next 7 years. But it's going to clean everything off my credit in 120 days. When that bankruptcy discharge, I'm going to politely go down there and get my little letter, my discharge paper. And at that point, everybody in their mama going to be sending me credit cards, sending me car offers to go get new cars, new credit cards, the whole 9 yards. Think about what I just said. So when they offer me these credit cards, I'm going to get these credit cards with these high interest rates on them. They gave me a credit card. It got $2,000 on there. But the interest rate is like 25%. Might even be 30. Guess what I'm going to do, boys and girls, with that $2,000 every single month? Pay my rent. That $1,800 is coming off that $2,000 credit card. I'm going to pay the rent on the first with the credit card. I just got paid from my job. I'm going to take that $1,800 and pay that credit card off in full. By me paying that $1,800 off in full every single month, guess what I'm not going to have? Interest on that credit card. I'm paying the rent anyway. And I ain't got no minimum payment on this credit card because I learned my lesson with these other credit cards. I got to pay these utility bills. So I didn't pay my rent, $1,800. I done took my paycheck, paid the credit card off $1,800. I got $2,000 available on this credit card. Guess what I'm going to do? Light bill getting paid with the credit card. Phone bill getting paid with the credit card. Car insurance getting paid with the credit card. I ain't got to pay for groceries. Why? Food stamps. Call another $500. As soon as that $500 goes on that credit card, guess what I'm doing? I'm taking the $500 off of my paycheck, paying off that credit card in full. It ain't been on the statement in 3 days. I hope y'all picking this stuff up. So now, with all my bills costing me, call it $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month. I'm putting all that stuff on my credit card, $2,000 limit that I got, and I'm rotating it, paying it in full every single month. So instead of me having an extra bill with a credit card, I'm just still spending that same $2,500 on my credit card every single month to pay all my bills, and I'm building my credit in the process. Watch this. This is going to get crazy, y'all. $2,500 a month is $30,000 a year, boys and girls. It's $30,000 a year. I'm bringing home 50 grand. All my bills, the basic living expenses that I have, is getting covered with that $30,000. That's going to leave me with $2,500 or leave me with $20,000. Guess what I'm going to do with that $20,000? I'm going to be ignorant. Out of that 20 grand, I'm going to politely take $15,000 and go put it on the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford. Why? Because my health is my wealth. The healthier I am, the bigger the life insurance policy I can get. Plus, I'm putting money into this policy, getting compound interest daily, tax-free, that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest. So you got to wait 7 years after the bankruptcy? Watch this. You say life insurance is a very, very bad idea? Maybe for you, not for me. Tell you what I would do. That's going to leave me with 5 grand, boys and girls. I'm broke. Guess what I'm doing with that $5,000? Guess what I'm doing with my $5,000? This fool, John, stop trolling. For all my insurance brokers that are in my live right now on TikTok, please talk to John. For him to say that term life insurance policy is better, he don't have a clue. He don't got a clue. And I ain't got time to explain it to him. I can't afford no IUL because IULs are not for broke people. With that $5,000 I got left, I'm going to go buy me 1 acre of land. And I'm going to do this every single year, y'all. Now, for my people that's saying, but that bankruptcy is going to be on your credit for 7 years. I don't know what's going on with these folks. Wanda said, yeah, maybe you're not talking to me. I'm going to assume you're not talking to me. Mods, I know my mods been chilling in here today, so y'all keep chilling, fam. I want to let everybody say what they got to say. Let them feel how they want to feel. That 5 grand, I'm going to go buy me 1 acre every single year. Now, for my people that's talking about, hey, why would you file Chapter 7? That's going to be on your credit for the next 7 years. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out to a company called LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a company that houses all your information. I mean, all of it. I'm going to reach out to LexisNexis. The very first person I get on the phone, I'm going to tell them to freeze my Clue report and my personal file. Clue, C-L-U-E, personal file. Let me put it up on YouTube. I'm sorry. Clue report and personal file. Freeze it. They're going to try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I'm going to say, I can't afford it. I just need you to freeze my Clue report and my personal file. They're going to tell me that in 3 days, they're going to send me out a PIN number. I'll be able to unfreeze and freeze my Clue report at any time. I'm going to say, thank you very much, and I'm going to get off the phone. When I get my PIN number, I'm going to reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and I'm going to say to them, that's not my address. Remove that from my credit report. These inquiries on here are not my inquiries. I haven't tried to apply for anything. Remove this stuff off my credit report. Verify this bankruptcy. Now, we all know they got 30 days to verify their bankruptcy. What we don't know is that they're going to reach out to LexisNexis to verify that bankruptcy. What even less people know, being that my clue report and my personal file is frozen, nothing's coming back. And we all know what happens if nothing comes back within the next 30 days, right? It's coming off your credit and it's free. Now, we know with bankruptcy, they're going to say, we verified it. So I'm going to get a little ignorant with them. I say, who did y'all reach out to verify to? We called the courts. And the courts told us that you had a bankruptcy. All right. I'm going to call down to the courts and say, hey, I need to verify a bankruptcy. You know what the court person going to tell you? Well, there's only one way to verify your bankruptcy. And there's only one person that can verify your bankruptcy. You, in person, with a photo ID in our office. So you're telling me no one can call and verify my bankruptcy? No one can email y'all and verify my bankruptcy? Absolutely not. The credit bureau said they called down here and verified this bankruptcy. They said they emailed y'all and verified this bankruptcy. They didn't verify the bankruptcy with us. We don't do that. It's against the law. Huh? When I get off the phone with them, I'm going to reach back out to them and say, hey, I need y'all to re-verify this because I talked to the people at the courts. They said y'all ain't reached out to them at all. They're going to tell me that they verified it. I'm then going to reach out to a company online. You can go online and do this one. I'm going to reach out to the CFPB. C is in Charlie. F is in Frank. P is in Paul. B is in boy. When I get to the CFPB, I'm going to click on this thing that says answers to all your money questions. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom on the left-hand side and click on something that says start a complaint. And I'm going to submit a complaint that says they said they verified something and they never did it. Don't you know they got 15 days to show the CFPB proof that they verified your information? Y'all, they ain't got no proof. So guess what's going to happen? It's coming off your credit and it's free too. Guess what just happened to your bankruptcy? You're going to get a letter in the mail that says bankruptcy removed. How do I know that? I did it in real life. Uh-oh. But nobody don't hear that. I just got a bankruptcy off my credit in less than 6 months. Notice I ain't said nothing about sending no letters. Notice I ain't said nothing about paying somebody to fix my credit. I did it all for free. Check that box. Now I'm back on my plan. My next course of action is I'm going to reach out to a company and go through this program called NACA. N-A-C-A. NACA. I'm going to go and reach out to NACA. And when I go reach out to NACA, I'm going to go and apply for their program. They're going to tell me I got to sit through this long, boring program so they can help me get a house. Even if that means they got to get me down to a 0% interest rate. Think about what I just said. Now, they don't want me to have no lates on my credit in the last 12 months. I just checked that box by getting that bankruptcy removed. Ain't nothing else on my credit other than this one credit card that I'm paying in full on time every single month. What else are they going to say? I got to be willing to move into the property. I can check that box. Me and my kids been looking for a new property. I'm spending $1,800 a month. I got to come up with a down payment. Now, that might be a little bit problem. Good thing I qualify for the down payment assistance program. I just checked that box. This stuff is going to get wild, y'all. So I'm just going to ride this program out. I might use it immediately. I might not. Most likely, knowing me, I'm probably going to use it. It's probably going to take them 2 years for them to get me to a place. But now I'm in a place, and they got my mortgage payment down to like $1,500 a month. I'm at a 0%. That's what I can afford. I ain't got no other bills. The car payment gone. I hope y'all picking this stuff up. So now I got me and my boys in a new property that I can afford comfortably. I got a piece of a car. We gonna solve that situation immediately. Hope y'all picking this up. Hope y'all picking this up. But now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ride this plan out for the next 10 years, the remaining 10 years. Notice what I've done. I put 15 grand into this whole life insurance policy every single year. That's getting compound interest daily, tax-free. I'm taking $5,000 and I'm going to find me an acre of land every single year. Because I'm not buying land in the city. I'm buying land 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. And the property taxes on that acre of land with no property on it is less than about $50 a year. I can afford it. I got $30,000 to play with my basic living expenses. I'm going to do this struggle bus for 10 years. And I'm going to tell my boys, you got to be disciplined. As a man, these are things that we got to do. Not only do we have to do this, when y'all turn 18, y'all ain't moving out this house that I done got for us. Y'all staying here forever. By the time y'all get ready to get married, your pawpaw gonna have all this land. We gonna build us a compound where y'all ain't got to worry about mortgage payments. Y'all ain't got to worry about rent. Y'all ain't got to worry about car payments and all this other stuff. Y'all will never have to worry about bills again ever in your life because your pawpaw in the next few years ain't gonna have no more bills. And I'm gonna show y'all how to do this. And we gonna make this thing work. In year 10, buying 1 acre of land every single year, I will own 10 acres of land. Notice I ain't said nothing about no loans on no land. Notice I ain't said nothing about partnering with nobody. I hope y'all picking this up. Just think about what I just said. I will own 10 acres of land by buying 1 acre of land every single year. I hope y'all pick that up. I also will put 15 grand into this whole life insurance policy. Getting compound interest daily, tax-free, that I can tap into. In year 10, I will easily have $200,000 that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest, tax-free. In year 10, what you think I'm doing? I'm about to show my boys that I meant what I said. Son, life just changed for us. Dad, you look so happy now. You know, my boys, they're grown. One of my sons at this point now is 18. My other son is 16. They seeing Papa do some things. They seeing Papa happy. Notice I ain't said I'm going out here and finding me a woman. Whole life insurance policy. Long as it got a cash value, it should be good. Just get some illustration for some of the brokers that you talk to. Notice I ain't saying that about going out and getting no woman. I ain't thinking about one. I'm doing what I got to do for my last name. I'm going to borrow that $200,000 from my whole life insurance policy. The 10 acres of land I have, I'm going to take 1 acre land and I'm going to build me a single family home with that $200,000. As a person that didn't build 29 homes out of his own pocket cash, I know whatever the value of the home is, it normally takes half of the amount to build out a property. So if I take $200,000 and I build a single family home, I got me a property worth easily $400,000. And that's me lowballing. So if I take that 200 grand, I build me a house worth $400,000, what you think I'm gonna do? I just built this house cash. I ain't gonna sell it. That doesn't make logical sense because I've been studying for these last 10 years how to build a home. What's the best strategy when it comes to building out a home? What you think I'm gonna do? I'm going to rent it out. I'm going to rent it out. Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all all in different states. How much is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes out of the major city where you live at today? Think about that for a second. How much is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city? How much is the rent? Not how much is it, I'm sorry. How much is the rent? What that rent cost you? $2,000? $2,500 to $3,500 depending on which state you in. In Jersey, $2,800. I know here in Georgia, you spending $3,000. New construction, you spending $3,000. $5,000 if you in Cali, New York. You spending that bread. Watch this, y'all. Now, that's what you're paying today. But you're not becoming a landlord today. You're not becoming a landlord for the next 10 years. So let me ask the question again. On a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city, how much you think that rent gonna be in 10 years? It ain't gonna be $2,500 in 10 years. It's easily gonna be double in 10 years. I'm listening. So if it's $3,000 today in Georgia, it's easily gonna be $6,000 in 10 years. And I'm still lowballing. Think about what I'm saying. So what you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rent it out for $5,500 a month. $5,500. $5,500. Watch this, y'all. What you think I'm gonna do when I rent this out for $5,500 a month? Now I'm going to the bank to put this house in debt. Why would you put it in debt? You just became your own bank. Don't worry about that. Just do what you. I'm going to put this property in debt. I'm going to put it in debt. I'm going to the bank and I'm getting a mortgage on this property. The property worth $400,000. They're gonna say you an investor. You got to put 20% down. That's $80,000, boys and girls. Good thing I got it in equity. That means the bank gonna give me a mortgage of $320,000. Who's getting that $320,000? You, tax free. That your tenant paying back. Uh-oh. Nobody sees how you just changed your life. Yeah, the bank gonna own the land too. I'm putting this property in debt. They own both. But there's a method to the madness, people. I still got control over it, even though the bank own it. I don't care. I'm going to get that $320,000. Why? I'll get my $200,000 back that it took me to build it. And I'm getting an extra $120,000 tax free. How much is the mortgage on $320,000? Somebody keep me honest. What is it? $2,500? Depending on your interest rate, sure. $2,500? Let's call it $2,500 for the sake of this conversation. The tenant paying me $5,500, $2,500 going to the mortgage. That's $3,000 left over. That $3,000 ain't taxed out the gate, boys and girls. Why? You got to get what's called a return of your capital first. You know the $80,000 in equity that you put down, that $3,000 ain't taxed until you get that $80,000 back. Uh-oh, I got $320,000 in this hand. $3,000 a month. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? From being in a struggle bus. I hope y'all picking this up. You might want to ask your question here because I don't really respond to DMs, family. Think. My life just changed. No, you don't understand that? I'll keep going. What you think I'm going to do at this point? What you think I'm going to do at this point? I got 9 more acres left. I'm going to do this a total of 10 times. Wait, if I do this 10 times, every time I put in the $200,000, I'm getting $320 back. Means I'm getting an extra $120,000 every time I do this. $120,000 times 10 is $1.2 million tax free. Tell me what job y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. Tell me what type of business y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. Might have to catch the replay, family. It's on YouTube, Zabo 103. Tell me, what business y'all got making this type of money? I'm really listening. $1.2 million tax-free from bringing home $50,000 a year, 2 kids, bad credit that I put myself in, Chapter 7, student loans. Man, I forgot their student loan. How did I forget their student loans? How did I forget the student loans? I got to pay that joker. Bankruptcy ain't starving that student loan. But every administration that go into office, they give you something called a student loan forgiveness plan. I'm applying for it. I'm applying for it. And guess what I'm doing, boys and girls? It's going to get approved. I just got rid of my student loan, boys and girls. Think. You're doing it as fast as possible, family. You're doing it as fast as possible. Think about that. How do you apply for it? Google Student Loan Forgiveness Program. All type of stuff coming up. $1.2 million from all this struggle that we talked about. Using scenarios y'all came up with. I didn't turn to my brother and sister now. Y'all told me not to. Y'all told me to stay where I was at. Y'all ain't got nobody to help y'all. And you still thought that wasn't enough. $1.2 million tax-free that your tenants paying back. Y'all don't see how it's game over? At this point, now I don't have to work a job. I can just spend time with my about-to-be grown kids and teach them how to continue building this wealth. Just imagine that for a second. I almost forgot. There's more. How the heck I forget that? Y'all remember that $3,000 a month you were getting on this side over here? You know, you got to get your return on capital for that $3,000 tax. Y'all remember that, right? You also getting that 10 times. That's an extra carry one. That's an extra $30,000 a month on top of the 1.2. Tell me again what business y'all got or what job y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. And y'all just got it for free. Your gurus ain't telling you this stuff. Why? They don't know. If they did, they would be doing it. So when I hear people say things to me and I be like, yo, like, come on, y'all. I'm not telling y'all something I think. I just told y'all what I did. This is how you put yourself in a position to have a 7-day weekend every single week. That's what's scary about this stuff. And yes, it sounds simple. The most difficult part about this is your mindset. The next difficult part about it is staying disciplined. Find the urge to be like somebody else. The stuff that they got going on, it ain't real, y'all. All their stuff is an illusion. People be rent Airbnbs, telling you they live somewhere. And then when they not in that Airbnb because they can't afford to do it and they on a live platform, it's always pointing to the ceiling. People be on Turu renting Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces just to make you think they riding like that. And in reality, they don't have a clue. They ain't got a clue. All this stuff be made up. It be illusions. None of that stuff be real. Anytime I look at somebody's social media and I be looking at it, and I don't judge people, but when people come off like they better than somebody else, I ain't gonna say it annoys me because it don't really annoy me. It just I be baffling because when I start to dissect what they really got going on, I be like, yo, I ain't really getting it like that. They in between blessings and they just won't admit it. We all in between blessings. But we be having people that we put on these pedestals and you're doing better than they doing. You're doing better than them. The only thing that they got over you, they started doing something to try to generate income so they can actually eventually get to the lifestyle that they want. And that's what's crazy to me. So I tell people flat out, I ain't got no money. I don't have no money because I know money ain't real. And I don't need money personally for anything. You don't need money personally for anything. You never have. And you've been told that your whole life. I've been showing y'all every single day that I get on these lives that you don't need money personally. But it's a mindset thing. You got to play Monopoly in real life. You walk around this world 365 days a year. Every piece of property that you land on that's available that you can afford, buy it. Because you make money when you buy the land, not when you sell it. What if it's a flood zone? You know how much money people pay to go fishing? Go on and get that little flood zone. Turn it into a big old lake. Go on and put you some bass and brims up in there. Get your little dock stuff together. Get your little stuff for people can come out and go fishing. Hell, you can even put a little boat out there. People want to be on a boat. They at their own risk. Do you know how much money people make to go fishing? Right here in Georgia, if you in Atlanta, it'll take you 4.5 hours to get to a beach. Not no more. Right outside of Stockbridge, 45 minutes out, right outside of Stockbridge, these people had a flood zone and they turned it into a man-made beach. Miami is a flood zone. Louisiana is a flood zone. Hawaii is a flood zone. Jamaica's a flood zone. Turks and Caicos is a flood zone. You know how much money you make in a flood zone? Nobody don't hear this stuff. People don't think. All this stuff we talking about on here, family. Let's give you a little bit of attention. We'll give you a little bit of attention. All this stuff we don't talk about it. You want to talk about Diddy. Bless your heart. We're going to get you up out of here. He came up in the wrong place talking about a Diddy party. Bless his heart. Polar tink. It always, fellas, it always be us, man. Trolling. You don't get paid to troll. We ain't here talking about something that could change your life if you try to apply it. I know he talking about a Diddy party. He didn't know it was going to turn into a block party. Something that can change your life, and you're going to bring up another grown man. What type of situation happening in this world, y'all? You brought up a whole nother grown man, and we in here talking about how to change your life. Polar tink. Polar tink. This stuff is wild, man. What am I saying, y'all? I'm saying think. I said it from the very beginning. And I ain't got no cash on me right now. I wish I had my wallet on me. So we can go to this cash thing real quick and we're going to get up out of here with this. Money you don't need personally. You never have. And you've been told this your whole life. And you've disregarded it. It sucks. And ain't nothing you can do to change it unless you change the way you think. So let's go through this real quick. Last exercise. We got to go through it and then we're going to get up off here. Put a 1 in the chat if you need money personally. Put a 1 in the chat if you need money personally. Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Not really, because the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, unfortunately, it was a great book or a great product being sold to you. It really was. Because a lot of people say, hey, I got this Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read the book and it changed my life. But if you're still trying to figure it out, how did it change you? You just got sold a book. It's okay. Nobody's tripping off of it. It just is what it is. It's like when people say, hey, man, I read the 48 Laws of Power, man. You can't tell me nothing. Well, you just told me you've been to prison. That's that book they be reading in prison. The debt concept? Not really, because you're still going to use debt, but in a different format. I'll explain, because I think I understand what you're going for, right? But I'm going to explain, because I think that's what's going to make sense out of this. What's up, Miss Shay? It's been a minute, family. Shout out to you for tapping in. Watch this, though, y'all. Watch this. So we had a lot of ones in the chat for people that think you need money personally. Here's what I want y'all to do on all these platforms that I'm on. Pull out some cash. I wish I should run upstairs and go get some cash, but I don't feel like it. Pull out some cash. I want y'all to keep me honest. Once y'all get some cash in your hand, put a 1 in the chat. I just need at least one person on each platform to put a 1 in the chat that got cash in their hand. So at that point, y'all can keep me honest. So if you got a dollar bill, a $2 bill, a $5 bill, okay, we got some people got some cash on TikTok. What about over here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? If you got some cash that you can pull out right now and look at while I'm explaining this stuff, put a 1 in the chat, because I want to make this make sense. I'm going to go through this scenario. Okay, we good up there. What about over there on Instagram? Anybody? If not, y'all just got these other platforms to keep y'all honest. I'm going to go through it with it anyway. You might be going to look for some money. We're going to talk about it, right? So what do you need money personally for? Anybody, y'all just throw stuff out there. Tell me what you use money personally for. Anybody can chime in on this one. Food. Food, the first thing that always pop up. Lord have mercy. Food, food, food. You need money personally for food. What else? Pay bills. Okay. Buy things. Things like what, Jamal? I got bills. I got food. What else? Anything else? Appreciate it over there on you. That's YouTube. Yep. Appreciate it over there on YouTube. Rent, houses, vacation, business, gas, clothes, shoes, going out. I like that right now. Shout out to you for tapping in, family. Take care of your kids. I like that right there, family. That's what I'm talking about right there, King. Shout out to you for saying that. Take care of them kids. You need money for time. I like that right there, Lo. Okay, Lo. You spend that high five right there. Necessities, travel. What else? The reason why I'm saying what else, y'all still ain't what y'all use money personally for. Y'all ain't told me one thing y'all use money personally for yet. I'm still waiting. Nothing? All right, I'm going to run through this stuff y'all done said. The very first thing, medical, co-pays. I like that too. Health. Okay. Leisure. Survival. To spend. To invest. To flip it. I like that right there, family. Flip that money. Make it through the day. All right, let's go through this. Let me just talk through it because I don't want to drag this out too much, right? The very first thing that always pop up is food. I need money to buy food for personal use. For all y'all that got good old jobs right now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. Y'all keep me honest. Education, we'll add that to the list. Y'all got this money. Y'all at work. The big bosses come down. Corporate. You know, your manager start tap dancing. They being all extra nice to you when corporate come down. You looking at them like they crazy because they over there fronting. They be doing the same be doing, then they trying to act like they be on point. You know how they act when corporate come down, right? When corporate come down, they see the morale down on the job. They want to get the morale up. What's the first thing they do? Buy y'all pizza, put some wings on it, get y'all a couple of Pepsis, and then they're expensive. And then they expensive. I got 99 employees. 8 of those 99 employees is me, my wife, and all 6 of our kids. The one thing that none of my employees ever have to worry about is bringing lunch to work because we buy them food every single day. And then we expense it. Why? Because food is public, boys and girls. And if it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. You get it? I hope y'all just picked that up. Okay, that was too easy, man. What's the next thing come up? You got to have a vehicle. We just talked about it. This past February, around Valentine's Day, one of my white businesses needed a vehicle. So what do? We pulled up at Range Rover, bought a 2024 long body Range Rover, paid $150,000 cash for it, live, no car payment. And being that it weighed over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, wrote the whole thing off. Your vehicle is public, and it is a business vehicle, boys and girls. You're driving on a public road. You're not driving on no personal road. You're driving on a public road. Or did I make that up? You can go look at text code 179 if you think I'm playing. So what does that mean? When you go to put gas in that business vehicle, it's a business expense. When you do maintenance on that vehicle, it's a business expense. I hope y'all picking this up. Good old vacation. Now that's some crazy stuff right there. Vacation. Y'all just saw me and my beautiful wife get back from Indonesia, Bali, boys and girls. We went on vacation. We was on location. We took a business trip to go over there to conduct business. We were sadly mistaken when we got over there and realized you can't actually own the land. You only can do a 30-year lease if you're not a citizen over there in Bali. In Indonesia, if you're not a citizen, you can't own no land over there. You can lease it for 30 years. We took a business trip. Now, when you go on these business trips with your job, what do they pay for? The flight, the food, the car rental, the hotel. And being that Zabo 103 is also one of my businesses, guess what else I get to write off? All these pretty clothes and pretty shoes. Why? Because I'm doing content. So when you see us over there jet skiing, you see us up around the ATVs, parasailing, we doing content, boys and girls. This is why y'all getting this information for free. You get it for free because I get to show y'all my pretty clothes and pretty shoes. And if I wasn't gonna be able to show you my pretty clothes and pretty shoes right off, one, I wouldn't be buying this crap. And two, I wouldn't be live. This is a use situation. Just don't misuse me and I ain't gonna misuse you. If we gonna put it into perspective. Y'all still ain't told me what y'all use money for, personally for. I'm still waiting. The roof over your head. I walk around in a 7,000 square foot home, not at the top of the year, middle of next year now. We're going to build out an 18,000 square foot property on a 41.5 acres of land that we purchased. But meanwhile, I'm walking around in a 7,000 square foot home. This ain't my house. This house is private. So it goes in a trust. What does that mean? When them bills come in, they ain't my bills. They the trust bills. Uh-oh. They the trust bills, boys and girls. And y'all got small businesses, right? When y'all got y'all small business in y'all homes, don't you write off the square footage of your office? I get to write off the square footage of here in my office, the square footage in my wife's office, the square footage in my movie theater, the square footage in my gym, the square footage at my bar, the square footage in the game room and the pool table. Why? Because I'm doing content over there. I'm conducting business. But you don't hear that. Man, these kids need an education. You're going to have to pay for that college. Don't your job got tuition reimbursement? So you telling me you got a business and you didn't work for a company your whole life and you didn't started a business and your company got tuition reimbursement, but your business that you own don't offer tuition reimbursement for the people that are employees at your company? If they do offer tuition reimbursement at your company, why your kid ain't working for you? Why is your kid not an employee? What are we doing? Think. I'm conducting business. I only operate in public and in private. People don't understand. See, when most people go into a store, what do? Some people say, I'm gonna pull out my credit card, I'm gonna use my credit card. Some people say, I got a business, I'm gonna pull out my business credit card. Some people say, I'm gonna pull out my debit card and use my debit card. They make those type of decisions. I don't make those type of decisions. When I go and I purchase something, I say if it's for public use or private use. If it's public, it goes in my business. If it's private, it goes in my trust. Or one of the trusts. But nobody hears that. That's the part that becomes wild. If I can't ration in my head that it's for public or private use, I'm not buying it. I don't need it. I have no use for money personally, ever. I was at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree. Made a couple $100,000 a year. When I was at Bank of America, they gave me a free life insurance policy, $50,000 life insurance policy that I didn't have to pay for. If you are on a job right now today, do your job give you a free life insurance policy that you don't have to pay for? Put a 1 in the chat if your job gives you a free life insurance policy that you don't have to pay for. Bank of America was an amazing company, man. They gave me a free $50,000 life insurance policy that I didn't have to pay for. I couldn't believe it. When I left the bank, they didn't cancel that policy. Bank of America was so generous. When I left the bank, they didn't cancel that policy. I called my insurance broker so quick it didn't even make no sense. I said, these policies that I got on my wife, on my kids, on myself, the beneficiaries of these policies is, all of us. They can't be the beneficiaries of these policies. I need to make the beneficiary the trust. How long will it take you to get this done? This joker told me give him 2 minutes. I said, 2 minutes? Yeah, man, it'll take a couple months showing your statement, but only give me about 2 minutes. I can get it done. It'll be effective right now. Wait, you don't need to talk to my wife to get consent from her? You don't need to talk to my kids that are of age to get consent from them to change this stuff over? No. You the owner of the policy. You can do whatever you want to do with these policies. Huh? What do you mean I can do whatever I want to do with these policies? If you want to change it, you can change it. If you want to tap into the cash value, you can tap into the cash value because you own the policy. Huh? Bank of America gave me a free life insurance policy I have to pay for. Can I put policies on my employees as long as they consent to getting the policies that the company pay for? Yeah, you can do that. And I'll be able to write that off too. That's a business expense. Yeah. Oh, wow. On the executives on my own company, can I get on some big old life insurance policies that the company pay for on the executives? Absolutely. You can get that done too. Yep, we can do that. Sound like my life insurance policy just became public. Your medical insurance ain't being taxed anyway. Who paying for that? The business. Public. Still waiting on what y'all share with me that y'all using money personally for. This boy said tricking off. Lord have mercy. Oh, this boy said spending money on women. You ain't learned from Diddy. That's what's personal to you? Spending money on women? How many women you want? Yeah. How many women you want? I gotta hear this because you're telling me it's personal, and I'm here to tell you it ain't personal. It's either public or private. You just need 2? Okay. Well, let's say you got a good business going on and you got multiple businesses, right? You could have 2 secretaries. Go ahead and hire those 2 secretaries, and everywhere you go, you can take those secretaries with you. Go on and put them on payroll. Sound like you paying these women just became public. It ain't personal. You got a secretary and you got an assistant. Go on and make that work, family. You got it. Sound like it just became public. Now that means, so that you don't mess nothing up, you need to let both, you got to be honest with them. Let them know. So you ain't got no issues. Y'all still got that cash in y'all hand? I ain't forgot about that cash. We're going to wrap it up with this. That cash in your hand, I want you to look at the back of that money. On the back of that money at the very top, it should say the United States of America. Put a 1 in the chat if you see the United States of America on the back of your money. Put a 1 in the chat if you see the United States of America on the back of your money. Back top of your money. It should say the United States of America. Put a 1 in the chat. All right. So I ain't tripping. We all know the United States of America is a public business. It's a corporation. A corporation is a business, boys and girls. The United States of America on the back of your money is telling you it's a public business. The reason why the United States of America don't have kings and queens and princes and all this other stuff that you see in other countries, because it's a business. Businesses, corporations have presidents, vice presidents. I'm going to say this one more time because I need this to click. The reason why the United States of America don't have kings and queens is because it's a business. It's a public business. Any public business that you look at, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Tesla, whoever, you have a president and you have a vice president. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. If you understand that businesses have a president and a vice president, then you understand it's a business. All right? It's a public business. The United States of America, you see that? It's a public business. Right below the United States of America, it should be something on there that says, "In God we trust." Now, I was told this part. I don't know if this is true. I was told that "In God we trust" is the name of the United States of America's trust. If that's true, that "In God we trust" is the name of the United States of America's trust, a trust is private. It ain't really much to say about that. The United States of America public business. "In God we trust," if that's true, it's the name of the United States of America trust, it's private. It's on your money. Public, private. Now I know what you're thinking. Zabo, there ain't enough information. It sounds okay, but that's a stretch. Put on your reading glasses, boys and girls. Turn your money around to the front. Find in the little corner. It's going to be in fine print. It's on different spaces on your money on the front. There's something that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." Put a 3 in the chat if you see that on your money. Put a 3 in the chat if you see on the front of your money, "This note is a legal tender for all debts, public and private." It didn't say nothing about personal. Not one spot on that it said nothing about personal. Why is that on your money? Why did they deliberately put that on your money? And it's been there your whole life. It's instructions, boys and girls. It's telling you to use this thing we call money for public use and private use. This money that we're calling money is given to all its employees from the business called the United States of America. I hope y'all just picked that up. The point on what I'm saying is, go learn the rules. Go look up these laws. You'll start to understand it don't matter which president is in office. The laws are written for wealthy people. Private don't mean personal. Private just mean private. public, private. Think. People go to jail. Businesses don't. When all them people got in trouble at Lehman Brothers, when all them people that got in trouble at Wells Fargo, when all them people got in trouble at Countrywide, there were people that went to jail. The business didn't go to jail. Businesses don't go to jail. People do. When you operate in personal, you can go to jail personally. Your corporation can't go to jail. A person can. The business can't. So by you operating in public and in private, you're kind of removing yourself from that. That don't mean go out and do stuff personally and break the law. Because if you break the law personally, you going to jail. You get it? Work in public, live in private. Ooh. Said something else, family. So listen, y'all, I've been on here for almost 2 hours, almost 3 hours. I'm gonna get up off here. Now I know I didn't give y'all a lot of information. Replays are gonna be on Facebook at Zabian Gibson, YouTube at Zabo103, Instagram at Zabo103. If you're not following me on those other platforms, go follow me. TikTok, I can't really put the replays over here because it don't really work that way. But if you're not following me on Instagram for the most part, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Go to my the platform and just click on the little thing that says Instagram and follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's where all the replays going, y'all. If you miss some of this stuff, the replays are going up on these platforms as soon as I end these lives. Think about what I just said. A lot of people, can you repeat this? Can you repeat it? Go look at the replay. I can't repeat 3 hours worth of stuff. Think. That's what this stuff is about, y'all. Before you get overly motivated, let me just put this out here. Go do your research. Anything you heard me talk about on here, go research it. Just see if it's real. If you find out, man, he don't know what he's talking about, don't come back to my live telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to hear that shit. But if you find out that this stuff is legit, apply it in your life. I promise you, your future self will thank you. The reason why I'm telling you to do the research is for one reason and one reason only. Motivation and manipulation is on the same coin. Motivation and manipulation is on the same coin. If I need to motivate you to get you to do something that I need you to do, and all you got to do is be motivated, I'm 100% going to motivate you. You can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to motivate you because I fight for my last name, not my first. If I need you to do something and I can't motivate you, it's a green light to manipulate you. It sucks for me to end this way, but this is the real reality. Nobody cares if you win or lose. It don't matter who it is. That includes me. I'm looking out for my last name. I need y'all to look out for y'all last name. Research over me search. Don't just take everything that you hear and run. Go research this stuff out. Why? Because you got to live with the results. It may be somebody that ain't trying to manipulate you, but they could be outdated with their information. Go research this stuff, y'all. And start applying the things in your life that you can apply in your life so you can start to change your life. I promise you, listen, as a person that worked at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, working 2,400 hours a year to working 0 hours a year, I'm telling you flat out, it's worth it. Once you see this stuff that I'm talking about, you're not going to be able to unsee it. Nothing that you can think of is going to make sense. Again, imagine you paying a car payment, getting in your car every single day, leaving your home, that you paying rent, mortgage, light bill, gas bill, water bill, whatever you paying inside your house, to go to work, to keep the car payment that you got, the mortgage that you got, the rent that you got. You only going to work to keep the things that you got. But you got the things that you got to get work. I don't think nobody hear me when I say this. So I'm going to try this one more time. Imagine for a second, the only reason why you keeping your job is so you can keep paying your car payment, your mortgage, your light bill, your phone bill. So you only going to work to pay for these things that you need to get to work. You only got a car payment to get to work. You only driving in this car to get to work, to pay for the things. Am I tripping? You only paying for these things to keep the same thing. It's like you taking dirt, picking it up out of the hole, spinning all the way back around, putting the dirt back in and picking it back up, spinning all the way around, putting it back in. This is what you're doing. Something got to change. When stuff like that started to just pop up in my head every single day, I started saying to myself, I can't be trading no time for money. I got to spend the rest of my life with all the people that I say I care about and love the most. I got to do everything in my power to spend all my time with them. If somebody want me to do something that's going to take time away from the people that I care about and love the most, I ain't doing it. At best, I got to weigh out the risk. I got to weigh it out. As a man that got 6 kids, I can tell you my grown daughter experienced a different life with her dad than my youngest boy who's 6. My oldest daughter, I wasn't the best father in the world. I did the best I knew how, coming from a person that didn't have a father growing up. I did the best that I know how to take care of her, be in her life as much as I understood. That girl, that woman, saw me bust my ass, working, trying to figure it out. I got a grandson now that I can bless in a different way. My 6-year-old ain't never seen his mom and dad work a day in his life. His life experience is way different than my older kids. His mentality ain't the same. My kids were used to seeing their dad and their mom work. So what you think they're going to want to do when they get up? They're going to want to work when they get grown. My son, who ain't never seen his mom and dad work, he be like, y'all going to the office today? He'd be like, I want to go to the office. Hey, we going to the bank today? They get a digital learning day, and we all here. They on summer break. We all on summer break together. I know right now today, he can't wrap his brain around trying to work a job. He don't even know what that means. And I'm telling you as a father, and I know it can be hard to have that gentle man in most men, but as a father, I'm telling you flat out, it's a big difference from the nanny some of the daycare, the school, whoever that's watching your kids while you at work, telling you your kids just took their first step. They just tried their first food. They just said these different things versus you actually seeing it there in first person in real time. As a mother, I get, I can't understand because I'm not a woman, but as a man, I'm telling you, seeing your kids experience stuff the first time yourself versus hearing it from a third party is different. It's different. And the one thing that I've learned over all my years, these 40-some years I've been on this planet, love is not about what you can give. Love is about what you can take. How much can you take? That's what love is, y'all. It ain't about what you can give. It's about how much can you take. That's a scary thought. That's a very scary, scary thought. What does that mean? I'm a man that learned how to give unconditional love to the people that I say I care about and love the most. What does that mean? I'm not doing something for my kids. That's not why I go and I became wealthy and continue to build wealth. I'm not trying to be wealthy for my kids. I'm not trying to be wealthy for my wife. I'm becoming immortal, building this wealth for my great grandkids that I ain't never gonna meet. It's about them, the ones I'm not gonna meet. So they don't have to pull up on Ancestry.com and get some false information about Paul Szabo. They gonna know because I gave them the head start on life. It's a sacrifice. That's the difference, boys and girls. So look, I hope y'all have enjoyed the live. Again, the replays will be at Xavier Gibson on Facebook, Szabo103 on YouTube, Szabo103 on Instagram. As soon as these live end, again, I hope y'all have an amazing night. In the meantime, y'all be good or have fun being bad, and I'll see y'all on the other side of the sun. Peace.